Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am back. Yes, Manny is here. Welcome to DFS Zone. I have a new video for you. We got the NBA just tipped off last night with a two-gamer NBA season 2019-2020, and I'm looking very much forward to it. I've been away from DFS videos for about 4 months or so now, and I'm very much looking forward to the NBA season. I did NBA in its entirety last year. The year before that, I did it pretty much the second half of the season when I decided to jump into this daily fantasy sports advice platform here on YouTube. I've had a great time. I've met a lot of great people. Some of you have reached out to me, were asking more or less when I was coming back. Well, I am back. NBA, a number of things I'm going to be doing, a couple of things I'm going to be doing differently this year. The YouTube videos are going to be obviously shorter. I definitely need to do that. Decided after all the videos I did, over 340 videos in a year, I said to myself, I'm definitely going to have to cut down the videos so this way I have ample time to do other things. So my videos are going to try to be 15 minutes or less, give or take, maybe sometimes a little longer, 17, 18 minutes, but we're not looking at 25, 30-minute videos or 40-minute videos anymore. As far as here, I plan to go back to the way I started. I was giving like a stud 5, so I'm going to do like a core 5. 5 players that I'm really targeting that I think are great plays for Fandeul, and they may be the same players for DK. I will let you know that as well, and if it's not, then I will tell you who I think would be a good play on DK as well. So both for Fandeul and DK. And then starting next week, I'm going to be doing live streaming. If you're not affiliated with Twitch TV, definitely go down there, Twitch TV /DFS Zone. Follow, be a part of the community there as well. I plan to start doing live streams, which is going to be a little more broader, discuss the actual slate, go through every game. We'll discuss the best possible plays, value plays, injury report, implied totals. I'll go over some statistics. We'll show some, do some work in front of you as far as spreadsheets are concerned. And at the same time, we'll be able to interact and be able to spend some time with each other. So I hope that you guys will be willing to do that. I plan to start doing that. It will be posted here. I plan to do that sometime next week, be either Monday or Tuesday. One of the 2 days will start. It will be a 1-hour live stream on Twitch TV. I'm looking at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or maybe 10:30 to 11:30. Haven't decided quite yet, but it'll be somewhere in that range. And of course, I will share that with you guys here. Another thing is also I'm going to be doing a weekly giveaway. Starting as of this week, starting as of today for the next few days. Anybody comments down below is a subscriber to the channel, and I'll be able to check to see at the end of the week if you are a subscriber. But subscribe to the channel, comment down anything regarding the slate today, best play, the guys that you're looking forward to playing today in your slate, or you might want to ask a question. You can do that as well, and you will be entered in that giveaway. And the giveaway is for 1 week. I'm going to be giving you one of my lineups each day, which I'll forward to you via email, whatever way you want to go about it, and it will be a full lineup for either DK or Fanduel, cash or GPP, depending on what you are looking for, and I'll do that for you. And that's my way of giving that back to you guys here in the community. And then of course there'll be other things that will be applied to on Twitch TV down the line as well. So again, that's where we're at. All right, so enough of all that, man. Let's get to it. Guard today, I like at the top, I'm just going to get right to it. On Fanduel, I do like Malcolm Brogdon. I do expect Malcolm Brogdon to have a fairly good game here today. Malcolm Brogdon last year averaged 28 fantasy points per game, nearly 28 fantasy points per game last year. He's 6,500. You need about 32 from him. He averaged about 27, 28. He's capable of getting you 32 or more. There's no doubt about that. He's on a new team. Remember, last year he averaged 28 fantasy points per game, and that was with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was probably the third choice, or as far as offensively on that team when Bledsoe and Giannis was on the court, and he was able to shine when they were off the court as well. So we know he can definitely step it up offensively. He has a lot of little skill sets that work well for him. He's in a new team. He signed a big contract, for sign and trade. This guy is the starting point guard here. He's going to be electrifying. I do like Brogdon here a whole lot. He shot 64% against his team, averaged 26 fantasy points with them against Detroit last year. But Detroit, Reggie Jackson's a little banged up. If he does play, he's not the greatest defender. I do like Brogdon here against Jackson. In the meetings last year, Jackson allowed 34.2 fantasy points per game last year to opposing point guards. That is a big number. I don't see Brogdon being able to. I don't see Brogdon having an issue here, putting up 30 or more fantasy points here today. He shouldn't be value. I think he's going to exceed value. I like Malcolm Brogdon here on Fanduel. On DK, I do like Tomas Satoransky. Now, Tomas Satoransky is in a good spot here as well. He is now the new point guard for the Chicago Bulls. 5,000 here on Fanduel. He's actually cheaper on Fanduel. On DK, he's 5,300. You need pretty much 26, 27 to meet value. He averaged 23 fantasy points per game last year in 4 games against exact. He can get 30 or better. The good thing about Satoransky is that he gets guys involved. He's also a guy that can assist. He can rebound. He can defend a little bit, get a couple of steals. He's a good double guy. He can even possibly get you a triple-double if he's on the court long enough. I expect him to play 30-plus minutes here. I think Satoransky, you can plug him in here on FanDuel or on DK. I think he's a great for me, I like him a whole lot on DK, even at 5,300. I wanted to give you somebody that I think is going to be in a great position. I think he is someone you can consider, and he's going up against Terry Rozier, and Rozier is more of an offensive point guard, and Rozier last year allowed 35 fantasy points per game to opposing point guards when he matched up against other point guards. So I definitely think that Tomas Satoransky, it will be a great play here if you wanted to pay down at the point guard position on FanDuel, but I think he's a good play on DK. We go over to shooting guard. At shooting guard, man, it's plain and simple. I like him on both platforms. He is a little bit more pricier here on FanDuel, and that's Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, look, he's going to play tons of minutes. He's going to get tons of usage. Last year, as you can see, he averaged 43 fantasy points per game at 9,800. You need him to get about 48 fantasy points. It's a big number, but he's going to get usage, minutes. And I always say here, and if you heard me before, I want to see guys that are good point per minute guys. He's one of those guys, a guy that's one of the leaders on the team, key offensive weapon on the team. He is going to be the go-to guy. And then, of course, we want to have usage, minutes, and a guy that takes tons of shots. And Bradley Beal is going to be able to get that. And that's what fantasy basketball is about. You want guys that are going to have the ball a lot, take tons of shots, be on the floor, and have that opportunity to put up fantasy points. So Bradley Beal here is a no-brainer for me, at least for today. Now, granted, there's a lot of great plays here. I do think Devin Booker's in a great spot. I love Donovan Mitchell at 8,400. If you want to pay down, he could be someone you consider. But Bradley Beal, 9,800. On DK, he's 8,800, $1,000 cheaper. You only need 44 there. Again, this is a guy that can get you 50. He averaged 43 last year. He had a usage rate of at least 30% or better in most games. He takes 16 to 18 shots. Like I said, that's what we're looking for, tons of shots. And he played 36-plus minutes. Bradley Beal, love the matchup against Dallas. I don't think they got anybody that's going to be able to hold him down. So we will wait and see. But Bradley Beal should do well here tonight. So he's my pick for FanDuel as well as DK. As small forward, is another guy that I really feel like. Small forward tonight, as you can see at the top, you got Gallinari and Harris. They're the top dogs at 74 and 7,500. If I'm going to choose any one of these two, I will probably go Gallo simply because he's playing against Utah. That game is a little higher pace game, higher implied totals, more of an offensive game, where Philadelphia and Boston were two of the fairly good defensive teams in the league. I don't expect that to be a huge, game as far as scoring is concerned. So I would go with Gallinari, and knowing that he's one of the key offensive weapons for OKC. So if you wanted to go up there at the top, you can. I don't really like this slate for small forwards. I'm willing to pay down at small forward and pay up in other positions like I already did with Bradley Beal. I do think TJ Warren with Indiana could be an option at 6,200, but I'm going to go all the way down to Kelly Oubre Jr. at 5,500. He is 5,600 on DK, so you pretty much need 26, 27 fantasy points. I think he's hands down capable of doing that. Since coming over to Phoenix, he's been electrifying, and I don't see it being any different. He played over 28 minutes a game on average, and his usage rate was about 24, 25% on average during the course of that time that he played with Phoenix when the trade went down. He's a guy that can get you 40 or better. He's very explosive, good three-point shooter. Guy shoots fairly well from the free throw line, fairly well, not great, but pretty good. But he gets you points. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to be an integral part of this offense. I think that he is definitely someone you can consider there, and he is my play for both FanDuel and DK. Okay, so I like Kelly Oubre across the board at small forward. But let's go to power forward. At power forward at the top, Blake Griffin is out. That opens up the doors for some guys there. Obviously, Andrew Drummond is going to definitely be a big boost there. You got Aldridge, Randall, and Bagley at the top. I like KP here, man. Porzingis at 7,700 going up against Washington. They don't got anybody up front that's going to be able to stop this guy. On top of him not being not even offensively with the skill set he has, he's a very good rebounder. He's also a guy that's capable of getting you double-double. So almost every single night, more than likely, he will get that tonight. So Kristaps Porzingis, love him here. 7,700. You need pretty much 37 from him, and this is a guy that can get you 50. We know he can get you 50. I think he's in a prime spot to really go off. His first game for Dallas since being traded there from New York out of the injury. I hope they don't reduce his minutes in any way. I mean, it's him and Doncic. That's the show here. That's the team. Porzingis and Doncic. So I look at it this way. Whenever I play either one of these guys, either I'm going to play them because they're both in great matchups, or I'm going to play the one that has the best matchup. And tonight, I think the one that has the best matchup is Porzingis at 7,700, and he's also cheaper. I'm willing to go with Porzingis. So KP for me is in play. Not much statistics to go by. We know what he's capable of doing. But I think that him, with his getting shots, usage rate, and his minutes on the floor, if he gets 30 or more, I don't see no reason why he cannot top 37 fantasy points. So KP is in play for me. I think he's a guy, hands down. I like him both on Fanduel and on DK. He is more expensive on DK. You do have some options at DK. You could come down on DK. Guys like Sabonis is someone that I'm considering. Adebayo is someone you can consider on DK, not on Fanduel. And I would say also, guys, I think either one of the Morrises. I know Markieff Morris is possibly going to play. He's a little banged up, though. And, that's pretty much it. I think those are guys that you can consider there. All right, let's go over to center. At center at the top, in the top, man, I think Towns is in a great spot. I think Jokic is in a great spot. Drummond's in a great spot. Vooch is always in a great spot as well against Cleveland. You got to pick them here. This is an area. This is a slate where centers are going to be pretty good. I think Towns is going to have a great game. I think he can get you 55 there against Brooklyn. Brooklyn definitely suffers, even though they got DeAndre Jordan. Jordan is not the same player he was years back. He's a bit older now. Towns, bigger, stronger. I do like Towns down there. But I'm going to go down to Andre Drummond. I do like Drummond here. No Blake Griffin. This guy's, he's just tortured teams, man. I mean, you still got 5,100 here to play, and there are some value plays that I think you can look into. But Andrew Drummond, if you throw in Porzingis, Drummond here, Oubre, Bradley Beal, and Brogdon, I think you're in good shape. And you don't have to go with Brogdon. Remember, I did mention you have some options there at point guard as well. But Drummond here, 10,100. You need 50. He averaged 46, as you can see here, during the course of the year last year on FanDuel. But he averaged 54 fantasy points per game in 4 games against Detroit. And against Indiana. And in those Indiana games, 2 out of those 4 games, Miles Turner defended him. And in those games, he put up 54.9 fantasy points. That's pretty much a 55 spot. And he put up a 69 spot in another game. So he is good to go for about maybe 55 to 60 here today. I think he's going to definitely meet value and maybe even exceed it. Andrew Drummond. Now, if you didn't want to pay up at 10,001, you could go up 1,000 more. I think Karl Anthony Towns is in a good spot. Should get 55 or better in this game. But for DK or even right here on FanDuel, in which I will have exposure to, is where is he? I didn't want to say his name just yet. Dwayne Dedmon. I think Dwayne Dedmon is a great option here for Sacramento. He is now in Sacramento. Remember, he was with the Atlanta Hawks. He didn't play a ton. He was always in and out. If someone was hurt, he was in. But here, he is the man. I mean, he is going to be their center. Dwayne Dedmon, I think, is going to be in a great position. He had 5,300. You need about 26, 27. And he is 5,100 on DraftKings. I like him on DraftKings because on DraftKings you could pay up a little bit on there's some good plays where you could pay up a little bit. But Dedmon here at 5,300, if you didn't want to go Drummond or pay up at center here on FanDuel, you can very easily come down and get a Dedmon. I will have him in some of my lineups. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think the nicer play is Drummond. And you can build off of this lineup right here, but you can also take Drummond out of there, throw in Dedmon, and now you can actually pay up at guard or at shooting guard, where there are some great options here today. We know the small forward, it's not a ton there, so you could definitely pay up at the shooting guard and the point guard position. And that's pretty much it, man. So Dwayne Dedmon really back, 25 minutes a game, 25 plus minutes. When he plays 25 plus minutes, he's good for 1 fantasy points per minute. He's a good point per minute player. Dwayne Dedmon, wanted to point that out to you. So at 5,300, I think he's fantastic. He on FanDuel, and at 5,100 on DK. And that's pretty much it. Again, remember, comment down below who you like, and make sure when you comment down below, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you put on your post notifications on. I'll be able to check that out at the end of the week. At the end of the week, we're going to have the drawing for someone to have 1 week of lineups totally free from me. All right, guys, and that's basically it, man. Have a great day, and let's get this money.